Welcome to Tibra's Den, everyone. My name is Whitney and welcome to today's speed build. If you haven't seen Monday's video, definitely check it out. I will leave it linked in the description below as well as at the end of this video. But on Monday we created your stereotypical town drunk, and so today we are doing his build. And just a little bit of backstory in case you have not seen Monday's video is he tragically lost his wife and daughter in an accident where they froze to death, and he does have a son who was the daughter's twin, and so his son does not live here with him but is part of his life, sort of. After the accident, he started drinking really heavily and didn't really care for his son too much, and so he had this little lot. He was in the military, and then when he retired, he bought this little storage area here for like RVs and such, and kind of converted it into an RV park. But there are some shipping containers that I put down, and so he converted the one shipping container into a living area, and then he keeps his wife and daughter's things in the other shipping container, and then there's just a third shipping container from the debug menu here that I just placed down just to kind of fill up the space a little bit. But that's kind of the backstory on him, and like I said, his son does not live with him, but is in the world. Well, the son's not placed in the world, but is in the file, kind of as a townie. So he's not on a lot or anything like that, but he still calls and checks in on his father. But I really enjoyed creating this character. Like I said, I spent a lot of time kind of developing his backstory. I actually went in after I finished the build and I created a new household and kind of duplicated him and turned back time to turn him into a young adult, and I had him marry his wife so he would have the whole memory system. I had him marry his wife, and they had their first kiss and everything. And then what I did is, after I kind of got the screenshots and the pictures I wanted and everything, I went ahead and merged households, and I used the MC Command Center to kind of cheat their deaths. And that way he would have that memory system. I do have the Slice of Life mod installed, and I wanted that memory system for him. And I did notice the other day when I came to play that their ghosts were wandering around this lot, so they wouldn't have necessarily died here, but for gameplay and such in the future, they did die on the lot, and so their ghosts do haunt the area. I wasn't able, and I don't know if that's a thing since I cheated their deaths and went through the MC Command Center, but it didn't create like an urn or gravestone or anything like that, so that was a little bit frustrating. And you don't see it in the build because I did it after the fact, but I went ahead and got a couple of urns from the debug menu. It's just not linked to them at all. And so if any of you know how to link them, or if there is a way to even do that, please let me know, since it didn't. I checked in the household inventory, I checked in his personal inventory, and there's no gravestones. The only place I didn't check was the son's inventory, because at the time he was on the lot as well and part of the household, because they were toddlers at the time when the wife and his sister died, and so he was a toddler at that time, and then I aged him up and moved him out after I cheated their deaths. Like I said, I just really wanted to build their backstory. I didn't want to do like a full let's play, so I cheated most of the backstory. That way he would at least have it in his memory system. And then I deleted the original Otis screen and aged the duplicate back up into an elder and put on all the skin details and such that I had on him originally as an elder. But yeah, he lives here, and you can see I'm putting a ton of trash down, and he really doesn't care. After he lost his wife and daughter, he kind of lost his will, and so he doesn't really care. And you'll see when I create his build, it's very minimalistic, and there's a lot of like dirty laundry and things like that around. And I almost went with like a train car, but I don't think I'm skilled enough to recreate a train, so I ended up going with the shipping containers instead. And so you can see, like I said, I have the debug one there just kind of as reference, and I ended up keeping it. And then this one right there is where he keeps all his keepsakes, and the one on the left is where he lives. He converted it into a little living area. So like I said, very, very basic. This is a pretty quick build. I could have probably done more with the outside of the lot, but I didn't really want like plants. I guess I could have put like some weeds or something in. But I did the trash and the tires and such, and called it good. But he just has a little bathroom in there, and then the rest is very open concept. He has his little bed, a tiny little kitchen, and then kind of a little seating area where he can watch TV. Not that he does that a whole lot. Most of his time is spent out at the bars, so I'm definitely gonna have to do a bar build at some point, just to give him a place to hang out. But I did place him in Strangerville. As you can see, I thought this lot with the RVs was perfect for what I was going for him. And I did debate whether to do like a trailer type build or what, but I ended up, like I said, going with the shipping containers, and I think it works out nicely. And he does have a stray cat that hangs out, and I did place some of the animated chickens, which I love. They kind of peck around the trash. They're not his chickens, but they did wander in because of all the trash and things like that. And then the cat is just a stray cat that he started taking care of, so he did give it like a little bed and a little litter box and then some food bowls around the junk cars there. So that's the cat's little hangout, and of course the cat's welcome to come inside as well, but it's not like his pet cat. It's just a stray that he takes care of, and they've kind of bonded a little bit. And you don't see it in this build as well. I did tweak a few things after the fact, but I also put like a dumpster, and all this trash ends up being heaped around the dumpster. Because I thought about having it spread all the way out, but I'm like, I don't see him walking that far to throw his trash. But once the dumpster got full, I don't see him calling to get it emptied either. So the trash just kind of is building up around the dumpster. But that's kind of, like I said, his backstory, and very simple, very easy build. Did not take a lot of time, which is fine because all my other builds are super long and it just gets annoying. So I was happy to have an easy build for once, and just very simple and straightforward. Unfortunately, I couldn't put the metals in until I went into live mode, and so they end up staying on the ground there until I was able to go in live mode. But you can see here I'm just placing some little toddler stuff, and originally I did not plan on the sun. Like I said, I cheated all the information, and I messed up when I used MC Command Center to cheat the pregnancy, and I put one female, but I left the male area blank, and so it ended up giving me twins. And so in this build I wasn't planning on a son, and so I just did the daughter stuff, and I actually ended up keeping just the daughter stuff. Since the son was still alive, I didn't figure he would keep a whole lot of keepsakes from his son growing up, but because his daughter died as a toddler, he would keep those as keepsakes. So her little toddler bed and toy box and things like that. And like I said, the son definitely has some resentment because his dad didn't take care of him, and obviously cares more about, his twin sister who's not even there anymore than he ever did about him. And so his son definitely harbors a little bit of resentment, but the only place where you even really know he has a son is in the pictures, which you won't see that in this build. You can see him in the screenshots though, and that's just because I had to learn a new skill. I had to go in and I downloaded the Sims 4 Studio, which I did not even know existed, which, like I said, learned something new doing this build, and I was able to download that so I could use the screenshots I got and put in picture frames to hang up, which I thought was really cool because I always wondered how people did that, and I knew there was a way because I've seen it in other videos. And so I learned how to do that, which was pretty cool, and I definitely like it. I don't know how much I'll use it going forward, but for this build in particular, I felt it was extremely important that he had those photos kind of reminisce over. So I was glad to have the opportunity to learn how to do that, and that there is a way to do it. Even though, like I said, I probably won't do it too much going forward. But you can see I'm working on his little living area now. Super sad and depressing. You know, very basic bathroom, small kitchen, a little tiny single bed there, and I do give him a little couch and TV, but it's just kind of run down and grungy and sad looking. I used a lot of off the grid or functional off the grid objects, just kind of give it that do it yourself kind of sad rundown vibe that I was going for. And even his dining room, like he has like a single chair and a small table to eat at when he does eat. I don't see him eating too often. He probably, you know, mainly drinks his calories, which is like I said, it's very sad and depressing. But I think there's also a few positives. You know, he has all the little keepsakes and such that he takes care of, and then Red the cat. You know, that's another living creature that he bonded with and takes care of, and kind of has the drive to do something other than just drink. You know, it gives him that little spark when he takes care of the cat, which I think that's another reason why his son probably resents him a little bit. Not only, you know, does he just drink all the time, but and he didn't take care of him as a toddler and child or anything, but now he's taking care of the stray cat when he couldn't even take care of him when he was growing up. You know, just probably another level of resentment. But his son does love him and still comes and checks on him and calls and such things like that. So there is a few positives, and who knows, you know, as I continue to develop his character, maybe he'll be able to kind of clean himself up a little bit. And we'll just have to see if I do end up playing him at all. But I'm gonna leave you there. I included a few screenshots from when he was younger, when I created, you know, his backstory and such. But if you want to see the full screenshots and you haven't already, check out Monday's video. It will be linked at the end of this video and in the description below. But I'm gonna leave you here. Have a good weekend, guys, and we will see you on Monday. We're doing something special for Halloween. Bye, guys.